On this episode of Tabletop Continuum, make a stealth roll with advantage to hop on the wagon and listen in on the budding journey of our Dungeons and Dragons campaign. Ankor's parents and the entirety of the White Prize now lay in danger as a fallen cavalry, led by a familiar face, stands in the way of Postal Karma and their safety. As we say, welcome to the World of Morath. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Tabletop Continuum. This is Ty.
Robin, who's convinced this is not because of sports.
Austin, who hates sports regardless.
And Valkyrie, who is questioning everything now.
And Melissa saying, "Go Pack, go."
Understand
that, right?
For context, we're trying to use Craig, and Craig is being an absolute butt today. So
yeah,
we're going to try and speed through a few things going on right now, considering we're almost an hour in our normal time. Anyway, where last we left off. Making your way to the White Prize and separating from the peculiar bard Mailed, you all were greeted with tentative arms and a demand to prove your honor into the White Prize. Succeeding, you learned that this was more or less a face for the sake of culture, as the Oracle and High Priestess, Loch Moorstone, anticipated your victory even with her fighting against you. The High Chieftain Posos worked with you, Ankor, to bequeath the party with the name Postal Karma, but the day grows peculiar as secrets are told and sacrificed in private and not in private. Before the prize, the circlet, Siobhan, you had made for yourself back at the Highland Smithshire, seems to go awry as you are put into a coma. It takes a lengthy ritual and a successful gathering of materials to dive into the dreamscape led by Yorgia, wherein you not only help Siobhan find herself, but also begin to tackle some trauma that has become interlinked with a curse from a disciple of Degdabal, the god of chaos. Your dreams tell you that the fight is won for now, but there will be another point where you, Siobhan, will be in danger, and it's best that everyone prepare for it. As you all began to wake, Corey greeted you with food and drink, both water and spirit, as you all pulled yourselves together, but news grew drearier, as Yorgia consulted Galapar and was told news of Degdabal's attempt to destroy balance once again, and the need to find disciples of all of Galapar's siblings. Now, given another rude awakening, the balance of your own safety is shaken as Ankor's family and carriage is rushed to the gates to the White Prize, chased by a cavalry under the banner of the infamous Royal Guard from Malik Banajo. You all have done your damage thus far to all but one man remaining alive. The leader, who now has Angus grappled. So far, all of you have gotten yourselves outside of the gates, which are now closed behind you, as the White Prize and the leaders have decided that right now their safety and consoling to their asylum seekers is a little more important, and also having faith in you. Kree, you have begun rushing your way towards the scene of the battle, feral, shifted. You are not a happy kitty. Siobhan, you have manifested a spiritual weapon. Yorga, you have attempted to beat down this gentleman who has Angus currently grappled, but none of your punches have landed. In fact, they've gotten so close to Angus's face, he's probably been on the verge of a heart attack quite a few times already. And Ankor, you, as a bonus action, said that you had brought out a spiritual weapon as well. You used your movement to come up to the gentleman's back, wherein you have attempted to roll to hit to do a butt stab. What did you roll to hit?
I rolled a 24.
That's very nice.
Roll for damage.
All right, let me grab my D8.
Nice.
And that's a 10. As I
Ooh.
say, hands off that hottie.
You land, but how exactly are you intending to butt stab? Are you just doing a slash towards his, towards the back of his ass, or are you doing something else?
I think I'm just gonna do a slash towards his ass.
Okay, good. We don't need another Vlad Tepish. So you go and slash, realizing that taking the opportunity of the fact that this man has more padding and guards on the front of his legs than he does his back, you successfully created a nice gash in his ass, wherein he is writhing, but he hasn't quite let go yet. However,
Damn it.
he is going to turn around, face you, Ankor, gently kind of toss Angus to you for a moment with this stark grimace on his face before he kind of grins for a moment. He kind of looks around to all of you for a moment. That's not going to be enough. As he immediately brings his hands together, crouching down on bending to one knee as his head drops, his eyes close, murmuring something to himself. And you see a blackness begin to surround himself. The grass that was once underneath him beginning to break within this black void that is slowly manifesting around him. Before suddenly, he zips down and the portal closes and he casted Gates.
So he's gone?
He is gone. You guys are out of initiative.
Damn it!
What the fuck?
All of that for nothing.
So
I
wait,
didn't even get to smack anything
God
yet.
damn it.
So wait, I have Angus right now?
You do have Angus.
I'm just gonna hug him tightly, just start crying, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, are you okay?
You're touching. You are. Ha, ha, ha. First of all, I'm okay. He didn't even hit me once. Which honestly is really stupid of him, because I could have been dead easily with just like maybe 2 hits.
Can I dispel my spiritual weapon, by the way, so that way it doesn't look like Angus is in between a rock and a hard place?
You guys are out of initiative, so yeah, you can do that.
Okay, hey, because
But there's still a lot of dead bodies outside.
I wonder who did that.
Yorga begins retrieving the dead bodies and like dragging them
goody.
over to be like disposed of. We're not
Hey,
doing
Yorga.
another tea party. Yeah?
You can soul spaghetti these if you want.
Does the DL let me soul spaghetti? Give me.
You,
Give me.
It's a pasta, put it in a box. Gravy on my beanie and some salsa on my balls.
Orp.
Robin.
Yeah, I'm very tired.
How about instead of that we go to like worst pies in London? Like
Okay, but
Like
that doesn't
Oregon?
answer
And
my
the
question.
moon hits your eye like
my
big
God.
pizza pie. That's
Can we
Florida.
continue, please? Can we continue, please?
Answer my question, please.
Smacked my lamp.
considering you know what? Yeah, I'll let you. I'll let you have your fun.
Alright, Yoria is happy.
All
Alright.
of you who are close by, which would be Angus.
How many of
Anchor.
them are you letting me do?
I will let you do these 3.
That is so much temporary HP.
Question for you, Yorga.
Mhm.
If you eat a tiefling, is that a spicy meatball?
Yes.
Well, how would you know? You have not met a tiefling that you know of.
That's not relevant.
All right, can I begin to carry Angus to the gate?
I can.
Sure. And the
I
closer
can
that
not
you
only
go,
walk, I can also fly.
and the closer that you go, you realize that there is Kree over near you, who is
Actually,
kind of raggedy. Kind. You
let-
want to describe what she looks like right now?
no, here's the thing. When Alex disappeared and she realized like Angus was safe, she straight up started to just panic. And in her panic, she has not run off far. She has run off somewhere in the nearby woods.
Do I see
But-
this
Is what
happen?
she did.
But last session,
She ran off somewhere.
but last session you said I saw that, right, Tyler?
Well, you saw that Kree was shifted, but like you didn't unless you were like she ran off in the middle of you like hugging Angus probably.
Can I to see if I see her run off?
Sure. Those I'll honestly I'll let all of you roll perception to see if you
Just-
notice that Kree is either missing or ran off.
Yeah, she's not in a good headspace right now.
I rolled a 9.
You don't notice. You're just like, is there a person missing?
I rolled a 14.
You notice that Kree is missing.
Where's Cree?
Robin rolled a 22.
Angus knows that she ran away.
Siobhan rolled a 21.
You also noticed that Kree had run away.
I could have sworn I saw her with like furry paws and claws and stuff. It looked
We're
really
not going to
cool.
talk about that. That didn't happen, actually. Just saying.
It was just the heat of battle making everybody see things.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Okay, but-
suppose we're not going to talk about it if Cree doesn't want to talk about it.
I guess so.
Do you know what we could talk about though?
Mhm.
Ankor putting me down on the ground, please.
All right. And Tyler, can I do something real quick?
Depends. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking about that thing that I've been discussing with you a lot about the aftermath of Ankor not eating.
Yes.
All right, and after
I worry.
Ankor puts Angus down, he's going to take like 1 or 3 steps and then just suddenly collapse.
Oh, oh,
Because
oh,
keep in
oh,
mind,
oh,
you all
oh.
did not have breakfast.
Oh, 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 oh.
That's not good. All right.
No, not good at all.
Georgia like walks over to Ankor and starts like attempting to lift him up and like to like get him back over to the gate.
Are you trying to drag him?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Oh, geez, I'll help you. Siobhan will help.
Ankor, are you contesting?
I
He's
am not
conscious.
I'm a little conscious. Like, I'm just too hungry to move. So, like, yeah, I'm not gonna contest this.
I just thought of something horrible.
Oh no!
Instead of
What?
hungry, hungry hippos, it's hungry, hungry himbos.
No. Anyway,
I thought you
so
said
would that mean
something
I'm
horrible.
rolling strength advantage because I have Siobhan assisting me?
Sure.
Okay.
Angus, are you helping?
It's a nat
I'm
20, so
panicking. So I'm panicking.
but it's a nat 20, so do
Yeah, that 20, you're fine.
My Ankor is unconscious and my Kree is missing.
What you gonna do?
Honestly, cry a little bit and start flying. You guys handle Ankor. I'm gonna start looking for Kree, and I'm going to start flying and shouting Kree's name.
Roll me. Okay. Angus, roll me investigation. Cree, you roll me perception to see if you can hear Angus calling.
So that's an 8.
Oof.
I'd imagine that Valkyrie could roll at advantage because yelling's pretty loud.
I mean, the woods. She rolled-
Honestly, I
Mhm.
was like gonna. I mean, she is really not in a great headspace right now. But I got a 14 on my perception.
You can barely make out something that sounds like a calling out to someone. You can't really figure out the name.
Well, in that case, she's going to continue staying huddled. She found basically what she did. She's not very far. She ran into the woods, found a place like basically to hide, crouched down, and she is covering. She has her arms like wrapped around her head. She's just curled up into a tiny ball, and she is trying to calm herself down. She has unshifted at this point, but she's very much crying right now.
So, while that,
Sorry.
I will prioritize Angus and Cree for the moment, and I will say that hearing the lack of commotion, Loch and Posos and the others on the inside of the White Prize have begun to reopen the gate to allow the three of you in. And I will save other descriptors for later. So, Angus.
Yeah, what am I mean, I'm looking for her still.
Okay, roll me investigation again.
Ew. I got dog snot on my forehead. That's lovely.
Oh,
fabulous.
Aw, come on, guys. It's not funny.
Oh, oh,
Oof.
oh, I rolled a natural
Don't
1.
you mean woof?
Oh!
Oh no, woof.
In
I'm
your
gonna get
panic,
lost in the woods.
in your panic, you've begun flying around the heads of the forest like a moth flying around a lamp.
Eventually, my haste is gonna wear off that I have on myself, and I am going to gain a level of exhaustion out here in the woods.
Are you going to try and investigate again?
Oh yes, 100%.
Are you still calling?
Yeah, I'm still calling.
Okay.
That one was
Kree,
a 16 that time.
Yeah.
okay. Kree, roll me perception. Angus, you feel like you're getting a bit closer. You're not 100% sure on where she is in the woods. You're trying to look for any open patches in the canopies.
I got a
But
21 that time.
you definitely hear him.
Well, Angus can do what he wanted to do first, and then I guess Kree will do what she was gonna do, or I don't know, whichever way will work better. I mean, I could go.
Well,
Oh.
he's getting closer to you. I would say currently he still has about he still has about 20, 25 feet before he will see you from above.
I don't think Kree's going to start moving yet, but she does kind of like uncurl herself a little bit because her head was just like her knees were just pulled up to her chest, and she's just again in a ball, and she uncurls herself just a little bit to like look up and like look around to see if she could spot Angus.
I am bright and sparkly.
And she is also bright red because she has much fiery red hair.
I'm sorry, what was that?
What?
Hmm?
What was just said to me? I'm sorry. There are also other people talking to me. We had
I
a
was
public
silent there for a
disturbance
Oof.
situation going on.
Okay. I know.
We're good now, just like I missed what was just said.
I was just saying, like, she doesn't really do anything other than, like, kind of, like, scan around for Angus. She's both looking around the ground and up at the sky because she's not quite sure where she heard Angus's voice from. So that's really all Kree's currently doing right now.
And do I find Kree with my 16 or
Yes, you do.
Okay. Well then I'm going to gently, not superhero land, but gently land in front of Kree.
As soon as Angus lands, Kree just quickly just runs up and just wraps her arms around him, and she is sobbing.
Hey. You alright?
She shakes her head.
Would you feel better if I let you touch my wings?
She kind of like she doesn't move for a second, but then she like slowly nods. She's been wanting to touch them. They look very soft and sparkly.
My wings are out, and I just kind of go, well, if you come with me back to the inn, I will let you touch them all you like. For tonight. Please don't get touching them all the time, please.
She sniffs. But what if everyone hates me?
I highly doubt that everyone hates you, considering that everyone was panicking over the fact that you left before Ankor passed out. I'm pretty sure everyone's worried about you and would like you to come back.
But everyone always hates me.
Well, and everyone always thinks that I'm a girl, so I think everybody here is a bit different.
I don't get it. Everyone all my life has always hated me when they found out what I was, but you don't, and you're good and didn't say anything mean. You didn't kick me out when you found out, and I don't get it.
I'm getting used to nice people too, but that's just kind of the thing. You and I are used to people that aren't very nice. These people are. That's the difference. Not everybody's mean.
Are you sure they're not going to hate me?
How about this? If they hate you, I still have some fireballs left.
She sniffs a bit. Okay.
At the very least, that means that I can make a distraction for us. So while we grab our journals and go off wherever we want to go, just the two of us, if they're mean. Fair enough?
She smiles a little and nods and just like wipes away the tears on her face. Before we start, I really need to take off my shoes.
Would you like me to carry you? We can fly back. Have you ever flown before?
Her eyes light up as she looks at Angus. There's still tears in her eyes, but she enthusiastically nods. She would very much like to fly.
How much does Cree weigh? Ish.
Not a lot. She's really tiny. Let me see if I have 95 pounds is what I put.
I could carry someone who's 95 pounds, even
Yeah,
with
she's a skinny teen.
Even with a 9
She's-
in strength, yeah?
What was that?
Even with a 9 in strength, yeah?
I will let you roll.
Okay.
You just with the 9, it's going to be a -1.
I
Oh,
mean,
well, that's nifty. I do love the way that, for some reason, D&D Beyond decided to open up the character editor. That's fun.
I had to get rid of my temporary HP because she's no longer shifted.
Yup.
Man, I can't believe you, Tyler. I was so ready for Cree to throw down, and then you do that. I didn't even get to get close to him.
Okay, so you want me to roll strength, right?
Yes.
It's not a very high DC, God, I hope. Man, that DC better be pretty low.
What you got?
You got a 3 minus 1.
You're struggling to
lordy.
try. Currently, you're more so focused on trying to carry her in a way that doesn't screw over your back.
Okay,
You're
I wanna
struggling
try
to
a
try and
second
find
time.
that good spot.
I want to try a second time. I will
Go
try.
for it.
I will try a physical die this time. Okay. Does a my brain's breaking on whether to add or subtract for some reason, even though I already know. Does a 17 succeed?
Yes, it does
Yeah.
succeed. You finally get her in a kind of like a similar to a bridal style, not 100%, but you manage to pick her up and you immediately take flight, making your way back over to the
Down.
gate where right now I did not have a map for this, so I'm just going to describe things right now. Loch and Posos immediately see the three of you, Siobhan, Yorga, and Ankor, come in. Ankor kind of just slouched as he is being dragged, as Loch, being your aunt, gets extremely scared and runs up over to the three of you. Is he all right? What happened?
He's fine. I think he's just exhausted. It was kind of a harsh awakening this morning.
Food.
Yes, he's very, very hungry.
Mhm.
I see. But None of you got hurt?
Uh,
Physically, no. Emotionally, we're going to figure that out.
yeah. This I think it might be time that we leave this place.
I see.
There, we just killed a very large group of Malik Bonajong guards, and you guys harboring us might be very dangerous for you.
She kind of looks behind you through the ajar gate.
She sees,
That you did.
she sees, she basically sees, like, all of the guards have been kind of, like, neatly lined at, like, the edge of the field, as if Georgia has, like, prepared them all for, like, burial.
Oh. How long did it take you to do that?
Not long.
Or was that just convenient?
It was just convenient, I guess. It took, like, a few minutes, not terribly long.
You certainly know your ways.
Long story.
Anyway, let's all go in. Where are your friends? Where are Angus and Cree?
That it Cree ran off, and Angus went to look for her. I'm not sure when they will be back, but it probably won't be long. I
Oh,
don't think there's any creepy crawlies out in those woods. At least I hope not.
no, not unless you go very deep.
Mm.
And even then, it's more the occasional wolf, fox. Never really find anything overtly intimidating. That's more for the mountains.
Yeah, I didn't think so, but either way, this one she gestures to the anchor who she's holding, like, you know how you hold up a cat like Simba style? She's kind of like holding him like that, except like his feet are dragging to the side. So this one needs food and a bed,
Right. Give me a
and
moment, and
hopefully to see his family before we run off again.
I'm more than intended to. As she immediately turns around and starts dashing, Posos following her as she's calling out in Orcish.
Mm.
Which, Anchor, in your exhausted state, I would say right now you're not 100% able to comprehend. All you hear are the words sister, son, food.
Mm.
As you
I
are
just, I
then
just say that in
being
Orcish.
Hmm?
I just say food in Orcish, just repeating it.
Okay,
Uh,
big guy. And like she like gives him like a little pat on the head and starts like dragging him towards the inn.
as as you begin dragging him closer to the inn, Angus, you uh begin to you make your way back to the White Prize, coming above the peak of the gate, holding Cree still as you land gracefully and see Yorga and Siobhan pulling a very unconscious, well, more just like exhausted Anchor over towards the inn as you see Lo talking to another orc woman who looks relatively similar to her. This woman's hair a lot more gray than Lo's, and a bit more age showing on her face. Her clothes very indicative of Ramal culture, with a gentleman next to her, tan kind of like how Kagi was, with deep brunette hair, the bangs swept back into a rather professional looking hairstyle, with spectacles and what looks to be like higher middle class style scholarly attire, as he is pulling uh, materials, probably what little luggage that the two of them had, from the carriage, as the woman is immediately led by Loch to begin preparing food in the open mess hall at the center of the reservation.
Well, I'm gonna go straight past everyone else and go straight to the end with Kree.
Kree,
Um,
when they like landed, and Kree was put down, she immediately just took hold of Angus's hand. She doesn't seem to be wanting to let go anytime soon. There's still like a few like silent tears, just like every once in a while, that like roll down her cheeks, but like other than that, she's mostly calmed down.
Does Siobhan see the two of you head back to the inn?
I would say that they're behind you. I would say by about 20-ish feet.
Okay, cool. So I'm gonna guess no then.
Sorry.
But as Siobhan, Yorgia, as you two bring Ankor into the inn, you go over to one of the rooms that you all have been sleeping in, and you immediately see a frantic Corey at the door with a dagger at the ready. Like none of you have the opportunity to open the door. He has immediately opened it with a face that could kill, before he immediately just stops, sees you guys with Ankor. Oh my god, what happened?
hungry,
Food.
Fighting.
tired.
Food? That's it?
Giant baby.
Didn't have breakfast.
Jeez, if you can't handle not having breakfast.
Didn't have dinner either.
Why didn't you have dinner?
I want to take care of everyone.
Why
Well,
didn't
you gotta.
have...
Just the collective sigh.
Well, you
All
gotta
right,
remember to
I
take
get
care
it.
of yourself.
Yorgia
Mhm.
drags him over to the bed and like hoists him up, holding him even more Simba style now, like hoists him up and like flops him down onto the bed. I want to remind the audience that Yorgia is a foot shorter than Ankor. He's 6'8", correct?
I was just gonna
Yes, I
say,
am.
Jesus, you're strong.
Yeah.
I just got lucky. Yorgia like flops him down onto the bed and then like kind of like shovels her hands underneath him and like rolls him over so he's not on his face. And then like tucks him under a blanket. And
You're
then
strong.
desperate times call for desperate measures. I'm going to the kitchen, and she walks away.
Someone help her.
I think she'll be okay. I'm more worried about you.
Meh.
And I'm also worried about you and Kree and Angus.
Well,
Wait, what happened
Kree,
to them?
Well, Kree did
I-
something. Kree did something very unexpected during battle, and I think she might
Did she
have.
kill someone?
no.
Well, she would have, but that's another story. I think she scared herself more than anyone else, and she took off into the forest, and Angus went to go find her.
We're right
Who
here.
was it at the gates?
Someone from our past.
Hmm.
Alex.
You don't. Oh.
Yes, that Alex.
At which point now, Angus, you and Kree have made your way into the inn, hearing this commotion as you get closer to the bedrooms.
I'm losing track of where things are. It's almost like I haven't gotten enough sleep the past week. Anyways,
Robin!
listen, it's fine. Sleep is for the week. More like sleeping for a week. Help me.
Robin!
We lived closer, I'd give you a hug, but but internet hug.
Anyways.
Do
Where
I
was
see
Oh
them?
yes.
You
Do you need a
hear them
recap on
coming
where
in.
everyone is?
Cree? Angus?
I kind of I'm still holding her hand. I'm kind of give Kree like a kind of like a tug on her arm, kind of like in a come on kind of motion, like let's go see Ankor.
She follows along. She's still like very scared. You can feel her hand trembling just slightly. And she is keeping her eyes just like fixed on the ground. And her free hand is just kind of like grabbing at her skirt and just like almost making biscuits, but not quite because she's only doing it with one hand.
I feel that. Okay.
That is a mood. I get that.
Ankor.
You're
are you-
okay.
Yes, Ankor. Now Kree and I would like to know, why did you pass out?
No breakfast, no dinner.
Why didn't you eat your dinner?
Want to make sure you guys got dinner.
That doesn't. How does that? Why didn't you eat dinner? That wasn't the answer. Don't shush me. I will remove that finger.
You won't do that. You're too pretty.
Bright red in the face,
Wow.
ears twitching, still angry face. That is not even close to the point.
You're right. I'm sorry.
Just how are you going to do things?
days without food.
Yes, but you don't do that anymore, and you didn't feel good when you did it, did you?
She shakes her head.
And you don't have to do that anymore.
And Ankor skipping a meal doesn't suddenly mean that we get fed any better. I have plenty of money. We aren't going to starve anytime soon.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I sigh, and I flick him on the nose.
Oh, I deserve that.
You deserve worse, but you're technically injured, so you're getting it easy.
Siobhan just chuckles at all this. She's perched on the end of Ankor's bed.
Corey then also is kind of sitting on the side of the bed, kind of looking at you, Ankor, not sure whether to cuddle you to see if that'll help or not. Do you want a snack? I don't know when food is going to come in.
Can Kree
That-
smell anything?
Roll me perception.
Yeah, I want to make a perception check to see if she smells any food. 18.
Oh, you smell food coming in.
Yeah, so at some point Kree just like starts sniffing the air. Like her head just kind of like move, like she doesn't move, but like her head just kind of like turns towards the door as she's sniffing. It smells good.
Well, maybe in a minute. Definitely in a minute. We'll go downstairs and have some. All of us. I look
At this
pointedly at
point,
Anchor.
all of you hear the clanking of trays and like plates on trays as you hear 3 sets of footsteps, one of them especially fierce as they are coming towards you, as you hear one person in particular with a feminine like a deep feminine alto intimidating voice call out, "Ramerick!"
So when Kree hears that, she panics and just like she's just suddenly hiding behind Angus. Like her hands are just like on either side of like his on either side of his torso, and she's just kind of like behind him. It was involuntary, but that's where she is now.
Anchor flinches at this. Yes, Mom.
What were you doing?
I am immediately pulling me and Kree away from Anchor's bed to let Mom have full access to Anchor.
At this
Were they
point,
smart?
Making sure everyone else is okay.
as you see Yorgia come in first, followed by Dad, followed by Mom.
I found these two in the kitchen, and they helped me make some food.
Siobhan claps Anchor on the shoulder and gets up and is like, yeah, you're on your own, my friend. Have fun fighting this battle. We'll talk again soon.
If I survive.
As Vogue is holding 2 very large trays of food on both of her arms, you see her husband, the scholarly human man,
Her
holding a
husband is
large
on both of her
tray.
arms?
What?
Nothing. I made a dumb joke. Carry on.
I
You
want to hear
see-
the dumb joke.
I said her husband is on both of her arms?
Yeah, as you
Let's go.
see, accompanied by Yorgia, 2 figures, very much showing their respective ages. You could say that they are about middle age for themselves. The gentleman, surprisingly, is only showing a little bit of gray, whereas the woman is showing a lot more gray in her hair. She's about a foot taller than her husband, as she, with some nice toning on her figure, is holding these 2 giant trays of food and drink, looking around for a moment at everyone, and then just eyes Anchor. Why'd you not eat?
Also, I do want to say, like, seeing the food has Kree just slightly drooling, just a little. But she's still like firmly behind Angus right now.
I want to help everyone else instead.
What have I told you?
Hmm.
You can't help others when you're not helping your empty stomach. Now come over here.
I slowly sit up and then slowly stand up and then walk over to Vogue.
She holds one of her arms out with a giant tray that you see with a lot of basically like samplers of a combination of food reminiscent of what Loch has made, what Vogue used to make back at home, and a few other things that you notice are not really of this culture, but they still look appetizing. And she immediately just shoves this into your chest. Eat
Oop.
this now.
Okay. And I immediately start eating.
I'm very sorry about my son's stupidity. He means well, but you really need to focus on yourself. Corey is just chuckling, giving a wave. Hey, Miss Galadarm!
I think Georgia just put the pieces together that this is Ankor's mom.
as the gentleman who's holding another plate of food and kind of looks at everyone for a moment. Also, looking towards you, Angus, kind of moves his head a little bit. You know, you can come out from behind him, young lady. It's
He's-
okay.
She's
Oh.
feeling a bit on edge at the moment. She'll come out soon.
Are there
It's-
too many
she-
people right now?
She's like sticking her head out, and like for the most part her eyes have just been like completely focused on the food, but when she was spoken to, she just kind of like looks up at him. She kind of like thinks about it a moment, but like carefully, very slowly, just barely steps out a little further from out behind Angus. She's still like kind of like just behind him, but she moves out so that she's not completely behind him now. And she goes back to holding his hand and then like fiddling with her skirt. But she is still like very much like looking at the food. She is very hungry.
You see him give a really gentle smile. Keep in mind, this gentleman is like 5'10", so he is very tall compared to you, Kree. Would you
Yeah.
would you like something
So
to
he's
eat?
like the same. He's like the same height as Kree's mom. She nods. She enthusiastically nods.
He walks over to the both of you. There are also a few cups of water and a few tankards of ale. There's some ham, there's some fish, a few prawns, a few also cheeses, salad if that is your fancy in any way. There's also the fermented lettuce if that is something that you may need for your sinuses. What suits both of you?
So Kree just grabs a ham and just starts to chow down.
any food is finger food when you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's like a ham, possibly some fish. She's hungry. She's like, her brain is mostly cat right now. She doesn't care. In fact, like, there's a good chance. Actually, like, when she carefully grabs the food, but like once it's in, and so yeah. Okay, wait. Let me. She grabs the food, like just with her hands. She doesn't care. Nods at Ankor's dad before just kind of like crouching down and just like munching away.
She's really
And as
sweet,
soon
I
as-
promise, Dad.
And as soon as she like finishes, she goes to like grab anything else. It's like
She's
just,
really sweet.
yeah. Go ahead.
She's really sweet, I promise, Dad.
Oh, I bet. Come on, you remember the first time that we met Corey?
Are
Yeah.
you telling me that Corey was a feral boy?
Anchor just nods as he continues to eat to fill his stomach enough to get enough strength.
Look, first impressions are never meant to be the best.
Georgia looks at Corey and has like a smile on her face, like kind of like a "what the hell did you do" kind of smile.
Corey just gives a shit-eating grin.
Concern.
As Vogue holding the other tray. You know, the rest of you that haven't eaten yet have food right here.
Georgia grabs herself a plate, like there's a plate on the tray that she specifically made for herself, and she kind of like takes it.
Angus is going to grab a plate of food and grab a plate of food for a certain someone as well.
Which certain someone?
Did I miss the thing? Hang on. Right? Hang on.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't fall asleep, so don't worry about that.
Robin!
I'm so sorry. Angus is just grabbing a plate of food for himself. Don't worry.
Okay.
Don't worry.
Yeah,
Don't.
literally just like Cree, she didn't even grab a plate. She's just grabbing food and eating it, and then as she finishes, she just goes and grabs more food.
Corey's going to take a plate from Alexander's tray as well.
It's Alexander.
Good, Alex.
Angus is going to flit out his wings again and look at Cree and say, "Whenever you'd like, just like I promised, you can touch them. Cree can touch them." Makes a pointed look at Corey. Cree can touch them.
All right. I get it.
Grabby
So-
hands.
Ankor just looks at Angus like, "Are you sure it's a good idea to do it in front of them?"
What?
Vogue
What?
and Alexander look at Angus for a moment, look back at Ankor, seeing your worry, look it back over at Angus,
Do you
and then
think it's-
and then Alexander just raises a hand. This might be a stupid question, but you practice magic, magic, any kind of crap. I mean, judging by your ears, I would assume you're from the Feywild, but I've never seen any member of the Fey having such exquisite wings.
So I do want to say, like, when Angus said that, Cree, like, she kind of like wiped her hands off, like, on the very bottom of her skirt, because she's just used to doing that. Because she just kind of like, her eyes just like saucepan wide, sparkling, and she's carefully like just touching the wings, like kind of like soft strokes, because pretty. So she's doing that basically the whole time this is going to be happening.
They feel very, very soft. I feel almost like suede, but like if suede was wrapped around glass, so they're kind of almost cool to the touch. They're fuzzy. But Angus, not very used to people touching his wings, kind of shivers a little bit, but that's about it. Goes first goes, "I will answer your question in a moment." Looks at Ankor. "Do you think this is a sex thing?"
No, I just know that you're
As Corey is chuckling. I mean, it could be.
It's not.
Are you sure?
If it was, I wouldn't let Cree do it.
I mean, people can control their certain spaces and whether they like it or
If it
not.
was a
But
sex thing, I wouldn't let Cree do it, is what I am saying.
fair.
My goodness.
She is very much not paying attention to the conversation, because just very pretty.
Let's not
It's often
sexualize the child, everyone. Yorgia
Moving
says that
on.
as if she is fully convinced that Cree is like 10.
I mean,
Moving on.
she looks like she's 10, and it's not
I'm
like
just-
she's ever actually talked about her age to the
I
party.
was just thinking that you don't want people to know about this.
Well, I figured that since the only other two people in the room are your parents, and you've seen them, that it might come up at some point.
As Vogue and Alexander, hearing Georgia's comment, look to her for a moment, a bit of surprise coming to their faces, before Vogue slowly walks up to the two of you, Angus and Cree, with Alexander standing next to her. You have these two towering figures now. The gentleman, 5'10", the woman, 6'10".
I mean,
yeah,
Cree's very used to having. Oh, go ahead. Which question?
Yes. To answer the question of whether or not I practice, yes.
And Vogue
Cree's
is
very
now
used
going
having
to
people tower over
crouch
her.
down, kind of
True.
look closely at the two of you, almost getting in your faces. Like she is assessing you guys, not touching you, but still kind of assessing you. Taking a look at the
Cree
wings
kind
for
of,
a
like,
moment.
She kind of like stops from her like wonderment of like Angus's wings, and is just kind of like she shrinks a bit in on herself, because it's mostly just habit for her at this point when she's faced with something bigger and she doesn't want to fight. It's like she just shrinks. And she's watching Vogue back like just she's watching like for any sudden movements is what Kree is right now.
Vogue kind of looks at you for a moment, Crane, noticing this, and you immediately see her face become really relaxed, really serene before she looks at the both of you. What are your names?
As we
Go
both
ahead.
try desperately not to interrupt each other.
Go ahead, you go first.
I'm Angus.
I'm Kree.
Vogue takes a moment, nods. My name is Vogue. And she looks over to Alexander, and in Orcish, which her husband and her son understand, she says,
As does Angus.
"We're keeping them now."
Wait, Angus
I-
understands as well?
Yes.
Yeah, that was established when we walked into the White Prize.
I forget.
Angus just goes, "You're doing what with me now?" Back in Orcish.
She looks at you, a little surprised, before she looks back at Alexander and Ankor. Yeah, we're definitely keeping them. They're ours now. They're their family. Ankor, you have new siblings.
What, but I think he's hot. I say in Orcish.
Oh, okay. Well, then we'll
my
rescind.
ears fucking flicker. I can.
Then
still-
we'll rescind the adoption papers. That's for him. But Kree, she's definitely your sister now.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I've been feeding her.
Kree has
Aw.
just been this whole conversation. Kree has just been like going back and forth between like everybody. Like her attention snaps to whoever is talking, but she doesn't understand a single word, and it shows on her face. In fact, while this is going on, she's going to grab some more food from whatever like server plate is nearest and just continue munching because she's still
That
hungry.
would be Alexander's.
Yeah, so she just kind of like carefully like grabby hands and just like takes something and just starts munching away again. And
Alex-
she's still like very much watching this whole conversation, but she's still very confused. Trying to get like what's going on by facial expressions, but yeah, not working out for her.
Alex, as Vogue is now proceeding to have some funny conversations with Angus and Ankor in Orcish, Alexander just looks at you for a moment, Kree, smiling. You've made some very good friends. As he kind of holds the tray out for like you to actually hold and just munch however you want, munch to your heart's content.
They feed me, and they also gave me nice clothes. They're really nice to me.
She takes the tray as she says this and continues munching.
That's my boy for you. He always picks some peculiar friends at first, but everyone comes out well and good in the end. You included.
For the first time since like this morning, Kree kind of gives a small smile.
As this cute little moment will continue, and all of you, after some really nice and hearty food, get to know Vogue and Alexander Galdarm, the parents to your beloved Ankor. It eventually becomes evening, and after another set of food, because Vogue was insistent on making sure that you guys do not leave on an empty stomach, if to the verge of nausea, it has now come to...
Kree eats way more than she looks like she should be able to, but that's only because she's got like a hollow stomach.
And Vogue has definitely made the comment to Ankor and Alexander. Next time that she is in my house, we are making as much food as possible and we are getting the good shit.
Ankor nods excitedly.
Oh.
But now, as time has passed and it has become early evening, all of you have had your time in the inn, and frankly, keeping in one room makes you realize just how cramped having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, having 7 people is, even for just like a little get together. But now it's going to become even more claustrophobic as you hear a gentle knock at the door.
By the way,
Cracking
there's
the
8
wing.
people there. It's 5 of the party. Corey.
Oh, Corey,
Vogue, and
yes, so that
Alex.
makes 8.
Yorgia hasn't really been involved in the conversation. She's been listening in. So she's the first to get up to the door and she opens it.
It is Loch.
Hi, Loke.
Good evening. I assume everyone's doing well?
Yeah, everyone's doing okay.
She kind of peers over. Nephew,
Yes?
how are you faring?
A lot better now. I'm just waiting. Just missing an ear from it being torn off by you know who.
At which point she looks over at Vogue. Is this true, sister? To which Vogue kind of rolls her eyes but smiles, her shoulders moving in a silent chuckle. Maybe. It depends. I think you should be more worried about his stomach. Alex looks at Lo in the doorway for a moment. I assume they need to leave.
Yorgia nods in agreement. I was speaking with Loch earlier. It's no longer safe for us or the members of the White Prize to stay here anymore. We're going to... The Malik Bonajo guards are going to keep coming back, and we're just going to have to keep fighting them, and that's going to get a lot of innocent people hurt. So I think it's better that we go into hiding as best as we can.
Yes.
I wouldn't say hide just yet, Lo says for a moment. Remember when I mentioned the bounty folk before?
Yeah.
Where their help resides is, conveniently or inconveniently so, a junction point between the Monany, the Midscurrent, and the Cry. In a way, because of that, it's a sort of neutral ground. You'll be safe there.
Well, then I think we should pack our bags and begin travel in the morning. And Yorgia looks to the rest of the room to gauge their reactions by her requesting doing that.
Corey kind of bites his bottom lip for a moment before tentatively nodding.
Ankor sighs and nods.
I guess I'm along for the ride.
Well, I mean, it's not like we can go home just yet. She looks at Angus.
Yes, well.
Well, Alexander kind of pipes up. If I may bestow my own wisdom for a moment, I don't really much think that any of us have a physical home anymore, but that doesn't mean that we don't have a home in general. My home is with my wife and our family, and I would assume that Ankor's home is not only with Corey, but with you.
Ankor nods.
So,
Georgia doesn't respond.
frankly, that's me assuming that you all are tight knit. I don't know your circumstances, but the way I know my son, he is not one to be taken advantage of emotionally. Those that he finds ties with, he's very lucky to find those ties long lasting. It must be the Oracle blood, isn't it? He says, looking over to Lo, which she chuckles.
You can't really read Georgia's expression relating to that statement.
Vogue looks at everyone for a moment. This is not the reunion that I wanted either, but I don't want. I wish things could be better, but this might be the best thing that we all can do.
Things will be better. I promise.
Lo kind of holds her head down for a moment before speaking. We're going to have to reset camp farther into the mountains. It's not going to be easy, but with Vogue and actually the skill of Alexander, we might have more of a chance than we anticipate. Just know that we won't be too far away. As Lo reaches into her pocket for a moment before pulling out 2 scrolls, which she hands to you, Ankor.
Oh.
We won't be able to be in touch constantly. However, don't be afraid to write.
Ankor nods. I'll try to keep in touch.
Thank you. At which Vogue comes over, bending down since you're still on the bed, giving you.
No, I stood up and walked to her.
Oh, dirt! Forgot that bit. As she hugs you and kind of ruffles the top of your hair for a moment. We all should probably sleep. This is going to be our last night here. For all of us.
I don't even want to know
my.
what that person
Nope,
outside was
not
saying.
I do
Mm-mm.
not know, but my property manager needs to shut the fuck up, or else I'm going to
Wow.
call police on him.
Something about pee in a lock and
No, key in a lock.
Key, yeah.
Yeah, I
key
heard
lock.
key.
Oh, that
Yeah.
would make a lot more sense, huh? than what was going through Robin's mind, which was who did this?
He's not being nice to another tenant, whether they're new living here for a while or not. I do not care. If I hear him cursing again, I am probably going to smack his ass. I don't care if it's on CCTV.
You should.
Well, be
You should
very careful.
I'm talking hyperbolically.
Ah, okay.
Do you want me to come smack him for you? Because I'll do it.
Katie go fair on his fucking face. I would so want that.
That would be across state lines. Then become a federal issue, which I think will be even more of a problem.
They'll
Not
never know
fair.
it was me.
Also, this is so being cut out.
Well,
Yes, please cut this out,
course,
Kirk.
Of course.
I mean, if it's not, then you're in trouble.
Right,
Get it?
because that would be
You're
a
in.
threat, and I would probably be arrested.
I got you, Robin.
I got you too,
Thank
Robin.
you.
You
Hey.
are acknowledged.
Anyway, shall we proceed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they're not. They were not Cade Scrolls.
Let's proceed before Tyler gets more pissed.
Oh, I want to say, like, as the night has gone on, Kree is just kind of like, if Angus has been sitting next to her, she has like at some point she started leaning on his shoulder, and she looks very sleepy. She's eaten a lot of food.
Can I have Ankor approach Kree for a moment?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to whisper to Kree saying, I just want you to know that I'm pretty sure I saw you in a different form, and if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. Just know that regardless, we're here for you.
At the mention of another form, Kree, she looks scared. But as he finished up what he was saying, she kind of like she doesn't look scared anymore, but like slight tears come to her eyes. And she nods as she like wipes them away.
Ankor holds out his arms for a hug, possibly.
She she doesn't like immediately go for it, but like she does like slowly like just pulls herself into the hug. But and she hugs him tightly when she does though.
Ankor hugs back. By the way, my mom's considering adopting you.
Just huh?
Yeah, my mom likes you a lot now.
She looks confused. But like yeah, she just looks a little confused. But she's okay now. She wipes away what tears kind of like fell from her eyes and sits back down next to Angus.
Ankor lets her and she's like, all right, thank you for letting me say that to you.
Thank you for saying it.
And with that, I assume that what is everyone's kind of nighttime routines to get ready for bed?
Well, Kree doesn't have a nighttime routine. She crawls into bed when it's time to sleep, but she's going to actually do something different tonight. We can get to that last.
Oh.
Let's see. Siobhan's usual routine is to just kind of climb into bed, but since Loch is actually there, Siobhan wants to have a midnight walk and/or conversation.
Ooh. Okay. Well, at this point, like towards the end of the night, like Alexander and Vogue have been given a place to stay over at Loch's residence, but Loch has been been pretty restless. She and Postos have been doing rounds about the perimeter of the reservation as is, so you can easily walk up to them and have a chat with them if need be. Or, actually, to make this a little easier, Postos, seeing you walk up, looks over to Loch for a moment. They have a quick conversation in Orcish before Postos nods and begins to actually start making the rounds in the opposite direction, leaving you and Loch in private. Before we get too deep into that, what else is everyone doing?
Yorgia is saying she's not holding her key, but she does say a prayer to Galapar, and before she goes to bed, she kind of like goes around to everyone she can think of to tell them to like pray to their gods.
Yeah, I was saying, can I say that I've saved some of the food for like tribute to Demier?
Yeah.
I am going to pray to Demier while offering that food because I know it's
Okey-dokey.
good if Vogue made it.
I I have to pray to a god. I didn't know that was the thing I was gonna have to do tonight.
Well, if you
Yeah.
would, does
Well, I
Ankor
thought
have-
Yorga only told Siobhan to pray to a god.
Oh, Yorgia has now informed the entire party to, if they
Ah.
worship a god, start praying.
I wasn't paying attention. My bad. I'm sorry. I spaced out there for like a minute.
Actually, do you think Yorgia could start a portable altar for four
I-
siblings?
Actually, I have a question.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, were Yorga's exact words basically like pray to your god, basically?
Yes.
God and pray.
Yeah, pick a god and pray.
That's what I was thinking too.
No, here's the thing, because I actually want Cree to say something.
Yeah.
Which one?
Any of them, but right now it's Galapar and Galahay and Demye and Ankadel who need our help the most, but you can pray to all of them. And Yorgia is going to look in her bag and kind of...
Okay, well, sometimes I pray to Ankadel. I guess I can do that.
Mhm. The gods need our help just as much as we need theirs. And Yorgia's like going through her bag and looking at like the candles she owns and like what sort of like iconography for Galapar that she owns. And she's in the morning, she's on the walk to wherever they're going, she's gonna talk to the rest and ask them if they have any iconography for their gods. And from this point on, I'm going to say, it goes without saying, that every night she's going to lay out an altar for the four siblings before she goes to sleep.
Okay. Because, yeah, all that you have right now is you have some candles in white, black, deep blue, deep red, green, and yellow. The deep blue is able to represent Galapar. If there's no other candles, but a lighter blue is ideal.
Mhm.
But as long as you, especially in relation to focusing on the siblings, the dark blue with the red, green, and yellow is perfectly fine.
Yeah, and white is kind of like a basic thing, right? Like it's
Yes, but it can also represent Ultmaris depending on the circumstance.
okay. I think I'm going to place the white one with intention of it representing the missing sibling. I can't remember which one that so Ankadel is red. Galopar is being represented by the darker blue, but I'm going to have to get a lighter blue later.
Mm.
And then green and yellow were those
Demier and Galahad.
Demi and Gal. Oh, so I already have all 4 represented then. So I don't need the
Yes.
white one. All right, then never mind. So I'm going to put those out, and then I'm also going to place my key on the altar as well. And I'm going to take the offering that I'm going to ask Ankor to put the offering he made to Demier on the altar as well.
Okay.
I want to make this altar dedicated to all 4 of them. Hopefully it'll bring them together.
I hope so too.
We'll figure out something for Galahad and Ankadel at a later time.
So all of you are resting.
Oh, well, I was gonna try to do a prayer.
Oh, what you got?
Well, I mean, technically, I worship one of the 4 daughters, the one that's of my lineage, or well, one of the 7 daughters, really.
Yeah.
But the the 4 or 5 that are remaining. But technically, right now, I guess I'm gonna try to send some kind of a prayer to Abarta. We don't usually pray to these fays, but like it's the closest thing I have to a god, and I was informed that I needed to pray. So I guess I'm gonna stay in what as much of regalia as I kind of keep these days, and I'm gonna pull out a piece of food from the Feywilds so that I can try to stay more connected to the Feywilds, because that's my best guess on how to do that. And
Right.
just be like, "Hey, Abarta, I have no idea if this works or not, but someone told me I needed to pray to somebody, so I guess, hi. Hope you're doing good. Hope you're enjoying being part of the landscape. The sentient landscape. I don't know. I guess if this works, call me back?
At which point, as you begin to finish your nervous prayer, you hear a bit of a soft sound, as if it's like someone that's trying to talk, but they're not close enough yet. It's almost it's ethereal if disturbing, hearing this kind of breathy sound, the beginning of someone trying to speak.
Is it coming from the apple that I'm praying to?
It's coming from somewhere.
The minute I hear it, especially since it's creepy and uncomfortable, I reflexively slap the apple and go, ah! Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It was an accident.
Oh, no, wasn't even mine anyway.
Ah, what the fuck?
There is no one that you can see, but suddenly what you notice is that everything around you has suddenly gone extremely dark, not to the point of like pitch black. It's like your senses have been
Dampened.
almost disconnected from the
Okay.
material plane, as now
That's good.
you feel you're in the presence of somebody. You do not know who.
Okay. Abarta?
Nope, never heard of that name. Where are you from?
I'm from the Feywilds. Who are you?
Just one that likes to have a little bit of fun. One
That-
might say that I'm kind of the Digdable Light, but I'm a lot nicer, trust me.
The Digdable. Oh, okay.
Don't worry, just more the occasional, just kind of little bit of misery, a little bit of fun and games, little bit of that feeling when you see a man fall onto a rod and it ends up hurting his rod.
Now, now, answer me one thing. Why on earth would I want to speak to you? I'm confused.
Because I don't know, you seem interesting to me.
That's nice. Unless you are somehow related to me, I think I'm quite all right.
I mean, how is a rainbow god of trickery related to someone from the Feywild?
I mean, all I know is that I'm descended from an archfey, and I definitely don't have any holy divine blood within me, so I doubt it.
Well, you're at least creative.
That's, I mean, thank you?
Look, this might sound a little weird coming from, but in perspective to you who probably doesn't notice a lot of the prying eyes of a lot of deities, especially ever since you came to the material plane. But
You're all over the place. It's kind of creepy. Do you guys watch everybody all the time? Why can't you be like the fucking archfays that just kind of mind their own business?
I mean, not all the time. Most of the time we do keep to our own plane of existence, but things have been getting a little weird lately.
I've noticed.
I don't know if your blue-haired friend has told you anything, but uh my fathers are missing.
Okay, well, why don't you tell me your name first?
Glad you mentioned that. My name is Kygel. I bring creativity and a little mischief, a little bit of sensibility, but also fun and games in certain situations. You could
That's
say I'm a bit of a fire under an inconvenient ass.
that's lovely. Do you need something from me? Because near as I can tell, I don't need much from you. No offense.
You might in time, but biggest thing I need right now is I just need to find my father's. And I
Oh,
believe you are in company with at least two people who might worship my fathers?
I. That's nice. Why are you picking me?
Because again, you're creative.
I.
You bring a lot of spontaneity to the group, from what I've seen. A lot of passion. Something that Ankadel definitely loves, and something that I definitely take from him.
I. That's very, very sweet of you. I'm so very confused. I was just trying to talk to my ancestor.
It's not so easy talking to an ancestor when you're not in the right plane of existence.
Yes, well, that much is clearly evident. Although she's still alive, as far as I know, so I don't know if that changes things. Regardless.
Well, I mean, this seems to be getting a little awkward for you, so next time that you would like to maybe chat, get to know me a little bit, have a nice dinner or two, I don't know, even have a little bit of fun and something happens to where you feel like it connects to me or anyone else in any way, give me a call.
Actually, no, I feel like that'd be rude. Never mind.
I'm sorry, could you see that again? You were awfully quiet.
No, it's fine. I'm just thinking to myself. I was going to ask you a favor, but it's kind of
Oh?
rude when I can't even do the favor that you want.
Well, I'm sure that you can. Like I said, there are people in your group who I
Who worship
presume
them, yeah.
worship my parents.
Well, yes, but that doesn't automatically mean that they can save your parents. That's a bit of a stretch. I mean, I've known people that worship trees, and those things break down and fall and catch on fire all the time. Your point?
Nature is a little different than the arcane, but I can understand the correlation.
My point is, just because you worship something doesn't mean you can fix it. In fact, I would argue the people that worship something are the least equipped to fix the situation.
Not all of them, only the ones that become so consumed by their faith that they end up misconstruing it and controlling an entire populace.
Well, I suppose we were talking in circles, and quite honestly, I don't. Regardless, that favor. Do you think you could get me and my friends back into the Feywilds? You are a god of some sort, after all.
I mean, I'm sure that I can help bring fate on your side.
Well, if I was to happen to stumble across 2 gate scrolls, that would be fantastic.
Now, that's not going to be so easy.
Well,
Well, when you have a lot of oracles in the area, it's kind of hard to try and sneak some things under the rug, if you know what I mean, even as a god, because oracles can see a lot of things, especially high oracles. You've not met a high oracle yet. That's scary. You think an oracle is scary? A high oracle is much scarier.
I don't think an oracle is scary at all. I find them annoying.
Oh, you'll find them scary yet.
Riddles are not scary. Regardless, I will speak to you another time. Do I slap the apple again? Does that turn it off? Or
No,
kinda
just
like poke at the apple?
no. Oh, the apple had nothing. I just did that for a little comedic effect.
I chuck the apple at him.
As soon as you chuck the apple, it hits the wall and it just splatters. And with the sudden change of color from the light yellow of inside this apple, all of the color around you comes back, and you're back to consciousness.
Am I with Angus when this happens?
I doubt it.
So,
Like when the apple splatters against the wall?
well, I mean, he's in our room right now, and we're all in bed, so it would be Kree and Yorgia who would see this occur if they were even awake.
Well, I mean, considering Kree wanted to, well, I wanted to have something. Kree, blah, 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 talking is hard. Considering I wanted to have Kree do something a little different than what she normally does tonight, she was not sleeping. She's actually having trouble sleeping, and probably the apple thing like panicked her a bit. So if Angus like just tossed an apple like across the room, Kree like sits up like frantically, just looking at the apple and then looking at Angus.
Can I roll something to see?
Okay.
May I roll something to see if Yorgia wakes up from this apple-related violence?
Um,
Like a disadvantage on perception or something, or whatever you think is better.
Sure, let's go. Let's go with a disadvantage on perception.
Okay. Because I mean, she is asleep, but that was a pretty violent apple throw.
That was a pretty fierce chuck.
It made
That
applesauce.
was a that was a 21 actually.
At disadvantage?
I rolled a 19 on the first roll.
Damn. Okay, you woke up to this.
Cree just never fell asleep.
I clear my throat and I go, I apologize. Heigl, I believe it was, is an asshole. I'm going to bed now.
What? What just happened? I'm
Oh,
confused.
I just spoke to a god. Don't worry about it. I'm going
Which
to bed now.
Who?
Heigl?
What?
Anyways, bedtime.
Wait, what did he say? Is everything okay? How did he contact you? Why were you praying
Isn't
to Kyle?
that
I
isn't
wasn't-
that Ankadel song?
I wasn't praying. Jesus. Okay, I was trying to pray to Abarta because why not, I suppose? You told me to pray to somebody, so I did. He decided to fuck with me because I'm spontaneous and creative, apparently. And he started chatting me up and saying his dads are missing.
Well, yeah, they're all kind of missing right now. But well, if he's still around, that's a good sign. Maybe we should. Yorgi is starting to think like maybe should she add Kygel to the altar when she can? Yorgia like grabs like a pad and paper and starts writing something in Garamoth to herself. So, like she's writing a list, but you can't really, if you were to look over her shoulder, you wouldn't be able to read it because it's not in the language you can understand.
You don't know what
I mean,
languages
he
Cree
can read the
understands.
script
I'm kidding.
because it's the same script as the other Raimel languages and dialects. However, Garamok is so distinct and a complete disconnect from vowel harmony. And a lot of the vowels, but not just vowels, but consonants have also changed to where it seems more like a cipher and it's confusing to anyone that would want to read it.
Yeah, like it would maybe if you knew one of the other Raimel dialects, you would be able to decipher it eventually, but not at a first glance unless you know Garamok.
It'd be a bit easier to bill cipher it instead.
But yeah, Yorika is like writing down a list right now. She has been woken up due to Apple-related violence, and she's now writing. It doesn't seem like she's gonna get a whole lot of sleep tonight because her brain is going 1,000 miles a minute right now.
So there was one thing I wanted to do. So is Angus just like plopping back over in bed and going to sleep or something?
Angus takes the top off, undoes the bandages because fuck, that probably hurts having those on all day. Wouldn't know as a trans lady. Takes out some of his piercings and flops into the bed next to Cree.
Oh, I didn't realize we were already in the same bed. I thought we all had different beds.
I mean, in the end, there's always been only 2 beds. You've been, if I remember right, you've been regularly either sleeping next to him or sleeping at his feet like a cute kitty.
Well, dang, I thought, but when did that happen? Because I've been thinking this whole time there have been 3 beds.
No, there's only been 2.
That's why every time Angus wakes up and like in the mornings or anything like that, he just immediately tells Cree to handle things because Cree is directly next to him.
Okay, well, never mind. That kind of changes the thing because, like, I've just been assuming this whole time they've all been in separate beds because I was gonna have Cree sleep in the same bed as Angus tonight, but like,
You
so
have
they're
been
already
the entire time.
Well, we have been the entire time, so never mind. But definitely, like tonight, like Cree very much just like snuggles close to Angus.
Angus is already gonna snug you.
No.
He's tired and he needs cat.
Aw. Emotional support, Cree. All right, Anchor.
I don't know
should-
how.
oh.
I don't know how I missed the whole. Oh, there was only 2 beds.
And
I
there
mean,
How did
we've
I
only
miss the bed
we've only
scarcity?
been in the white prize for a month and a half.
No, seriously, I did not realize that this whole time. I just didn't. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
All right,
whatever.
Anchor, Siobhan, what are you two doing for sleepy slips?
Let's see. Siobhan, yeah, kind of just, does her nightly thing, gets ready for bed, sits on her bed, that I'm assuming is next to or near Anchor, if I'm getting the bedding situation right.
Yeah, and Corey is also in the same bed as Anchor.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And Siobhan just kind of sits down heavily because Siobhan is very tired. And looks at Anchor and is like, so don't ever do that again.
Yeah, I'll try. I'll try my best.
Mm.
If nothing else, I really got Alex's behind really good.
That you did. That was the most satisfying thing I've seen in quite some time.
You should have shoved it in his asshole.
That's gross.
I
Yeah,
mean, it would have done more damage.
I'd rather not clean off shit and more shit from Alex, whether it being his shit and his blood.
Besides,
Fair.
besides, when we finally reach Alex, I would prefer if it were me who dealt the final blow.
That was the
Ooh,
plan. I
take
wasn't
his
going to
head
kill him.
off.
I wasn't going to kill him. I was going to save him for you.
Thanks,
Next
Anchor.
time, let me know. Let me know. I want to see you take his head off and his head off.
Good one.
I'm getting sleepy drunk. Okay, time to sleep. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
I just pick up Corey, lay down, and lay him on top of me.
My brain said, "Oh, everybody's saying goodnight. Time to go." And then I realized, oh wait, I'm very tired. Go ahead, everybody. Sorry.
I mean, at this rate, since everyone is going to sleep and it's getting kind of late, and I assume that everyone has been getting a little frustrated because technical difficulties, we are going to end the session on this chipper note, and we will save the beginning of venturing out of the white prize to next week. So yeah.
Yay.
How is that for you guys?
That's good.
It's good. It's good.
I'm going to take this week to design the altar that Yorkia is going to be procuring over the course of the next arc.
Yeah, I want to
Ooh,
see
I
this.
Very cool.
I was so out of it with tonight's session. I'm sorry, you guys.
You're fine.
Like I was there at the beginning, and then I just as the night went on, my brain just
It's because
ew.
I didn't give you the satisfaction of going feral.
Yeah, I was convinced that was gonna happen, and then it was just like, all right, bye, you. I was like, I thought we were gonna fight. We didn't even. Kree didn't even get to get up there as and just actually show off how feral she was. I wanted to do that.
Right.
Well,
I'm
next
just
time
glad-
Angus is in danger, I guess.
I'm just glad that I got to go up to Kree and say, "Hey, I saw you change form, but it's cool. You don't even have to explain anything to me. I still like you a lot."
Even though
and
I
we
look
all
like a burnt chicken
got to
nugget.
meet Anchor's family.
And Kree has gained
Ba-da-ba-da.
another mom.
Yep.
All right.
The split parenting for Kree when all of their at the end of this adventure is going to be hellish.
Don't we want to hey guys, don't we want to end the recording?
Oh, yeah, we can
Yes.
try.
So,
Yeah, we should probably do that.
with that, this has been Tyler, M, Robin, Austin, Valkyrie, and Melissa. As we say goodbye.
Yes.
Enjoy your long
Indeed.
rest.
Indeed, enjoy your long rest.